tomorrow Monday, but Monday week for Lord Nityananda. And Lord Nityananda is non-different from Lord Balaram. And Nityananda and Lord Balaram always come before Lord Chaitanya and Krishna. So they're like, they open the gate and they invite us to enter. A lot of people do not know who Lord Nityananda is, who Lord Chaitanya is. So Maharaj's class today is going to speak a little bit. But you should know that they basically came in the 1400s in the Mayapur area in Bengal to teach what we just did, to teach chanting Krishna's name, and to show that when you do that, your love for Krishna will automatically awaken. It's a hugely powerful process. They're incredible, the stories, the lila around Lord Nityananda and Lord Chaitanya, and the fact that they practice two of the values of the Bhagavad Gita. There's 6 values, but the first 2, how to see the world, and they practice samadarshana. Everybody is eligible to have a relationship with Krishna. Everybody is eligible to chant Krishna's name. You don't need any qualification. And the second, which is really important, is they open the door, but we have to make the choice to go in. The choice is up to us. They're inviting. And Lord Nityananda particularly is famous for inviting. So we're going to hear a little bit about that today. Maharaj is speaking here because we have a problem with the heat downstairs. So we'll continue kirtan at 2 o'clock or 2:15 when the talk is over. We still have japa happening downstairs if anybody's interested for mantra meditation to learn a little bit more about that. We still also have the Hindi class downstairs today, correct, Shyam Krishna Prabhu? Yes. Again, I've forgotten all the things I used to say since I've been away, but really when you make this journey here, I encourage you to lean in and learn something. So either stay for the talk or head downstairs for either the Hindi conversation or the practice of mantra meditation. And we also have in the old temple area in the Bhakti Lounge a discussion group, which is also a small gathering to talk about how can I live these teachings and looking for guidance in that. So make your choice. We do encourage you to serve as well, either help clean the kitchen, help serve out lunch, help set up lunch. Service is another way to open up our heart. So we have lots of opportunities here. But we'll move ahead right now. We have next Sunday 6-hour kirtan to honor Lord Nityananda. And next Monday, it's an evening festival, which is one of the sweetest festivals of the year because it's ushering in spring. Today is Vasant Panchami, but the real spring is when Lord Nityananda comes and whispers the holy name for us. Okay. Oh, yes. Dear Krishna, he's waving there. He's reminding me. He's looking for some help. He's been asked to present to the staff at NIH about what are the principles behind spiritual care for Hindus, particularly children and teenagers. So he's a chaplain and he is involved in Karuna care. So if anybody is connected in their life to working with spiritual care initiatives, particularly for the Hindu community and the pediatric population, please see dear Govinda, he would love your help. Thank you. Okay, and Ramapat Swami, we are delighted you're here. Maharaj has been speaking at various colleges and home programs throughout the DMV area and having a wonderful time. He is a disciple of Srila Prabhupada, was initiated at the age of 21. That's way back in the last century in 1971. And Srila Prabhupada always wanted Krishna consciousness to be presented as a science, as a very systematic way, not some blind faith, but to how systematically and logically one can understand the self and the truth and our relationship with the divine. And this is, in my experience of Ramapat Swami, he speaks in such a very sweet but yet deep and systematic way about the teachings. Today he is going to talk about Lord Nityananda. He became an official initiating spiritual master within ISKCON in 1985. So he's been traveling and teaching all over the world since then, including served for a time as a general body commissioner of our ISKCON movement. And he first met Prabhupada in Buffalo, New York, upstate New York, at the State University of Buffalo. And Prabhupada was in a crowded auditorium where he and the poet Allen Ginsberg were chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. So that's many moons ago, but we're so grateful Maharaj is here and continues to teach and enliven all of us. So please give him a very warm welcome. We will encourage you all to move forward. I will, now that I have you all here, ask you to put your phones away after you take a quick photo of Maharaj. If you have children, please make sure that if they get a little restless and they can't keep up, they can go play outside. We do have coloring in the back. Anything else?
Children never get restless.
Children never get restless. The adults are the ones who get restless.
Is there some harmonium player in the room that could play harmonium while I sing Jai Radha Madhava? Are you a harmonium player, Mataji? You're the harmonium player. Yes? Okay, let's go. Jai Radha Madhava. You ready? Jaya, here's the words up on the screen. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hari Kunjavi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjavi Hari Radha Madhava Kunjavi Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamunatira Vanachadi Jamunatira Vanachadi Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Jaya Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Kunjabihari Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivardhari Gopi Jana Bhalabha Girivardhari Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jasodanandana Brajajanaranjana Jamuna Tiravana Shadi Jamuna Tiravana Shadi Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Madhava Kunja Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivajakacharya Astatarasatasi Srimad His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Gaura Premanandi. I hear a few children having some fun in the room here. If you're the parents of those children having the fun in the room here, please do the needful. Thank you. There's a nice painting of Lord Nityananda. And my guess is there's some persons in the room here who would like an introduction to who was Lord Nityananda, because many of you know, but for the satisfaction and respect of those that don't yet know, I'd like to introduce you. As you heard, Ananda Vrindavan mentioned that Nityananda is none different than Lord Balaram. So I'll assume you all know who is Lord Balaram because you all know who is Krishna. And the brother and immediate friend and associate, lifelong associate of Krishna was Balaram. So similarly, Lord Nityananda is to Lord Chaitanya as Balaram is to Krishna. There's this wonderful spiritual teaching that the personality of Godhead, who is the source of everything, that's Krishna, is the source of everything. We know that Krishna is the source of everything. He declares that in Bhagavad Gita, in several places. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matak sarvam parvartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. Krishna declares he's the source of everything, sarvasya. He's the source of everything. And the source of everything expands. From him, everything that exists expands. So he can expand as eternal associates, his associates in the spiritual world, such as Balaram, first expansion of Krishna, Balaram. And Balaram can expand as Lord Nityananda for the purpose of the pastimes of Lord Chaitanya. So that's the understanding. Who is Lord Nityananda? He's the direct associate and expansion, eternal associate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Just as Balaram appeared as the elder brother of Krishna, so Lord Nityananda, he also appears as the elder associate, not exactly brother because they came from different parents. This is the birthplace of Lord Nityananda, geographically different than the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya. It's an Ekachakra. Maybe someday, if you haven't already been there, maybe someday you'll get to go there. It's a very nice place, very sweet, soothing, rural, a place of higher learning during the time of Lord Chaitanya's appearance. His father, Hadai Pandit, was a Brahmana, and Padmavati was the wife or the mother of Lord Nityananda. And this is the birthplace. It marks the birthplace. It wasn't this particular structure. And he manifested as an associate of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, he appeared in this way. And the sky is falling. When he was young, it was natural for him to enact the pastimes of Krishna and Balaram with his dear friends. And if they didn't know the pastime, he would train them. He was the art director and one of the main actors, and he was scripting all the children playing Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan as a cowherd boy. And that's what he did. Children like to play, and he liked to play, and he liked to play Krishna's pastimes. So as he grew, his mother and father were very happy that they had such a bright, devotional son, and they were looking forward to his becoming a mature young man. However, some very unusual thing happened. Very similar in terms of Leela, very similar to Vishwamitra Muni coming to the palace of Dasarath and making a request of the king Dasarath, I would like your two sons to come with me. And Dasarath was, they're my life and soul, please don't take them. But he didn't say that because you don't say like that to Vishwamitra Muni. So similarly, different personality, in this case it's a sannyasi, but a sannyasi came, and Hadai Pandit, learned Brahmana, immediately offered his respects, and my dear sannyasi, what service can we do for you? Yes, send your son with me. I need an assistant as I travel here and there and everywhere. And Hadai Pandit was, oh no. And Padmavati right behind him saying, no, no. But he didn't say no, no. He surrendered because this was the culture of a learned Brahmana. A sannyasi comes, uninvited guest. There's a special name for uninvited guests, and they deserve all hospitality. So off they went. There's a beautiful description in their pastime. They looked down the road, little path leading to the Ekachakra village, and they watched until the two persons just disappeared into the horizon, feeling endless separation, unlimited separation. And that's the last they saw of their little boy, Nimai. And in the course of time, along with this sannyasi, they visited various places. One of the places they visited was this nice deity of Vittal. And in this vicinity, this is where Lord Nityananda met his spiritual master. The spiritual master of Nityananda was Lakshmipati Tirtha. a very elevated Vaishnava, and he received Gayatri Mantra from Lakshmipati Tirtha, so a young Brahmin boy at the right age received this Upanayana ceremony. And he, having an affinity for Krishna and Krishna's pastimes, he waited until it was time for Lord Chaitanya to make his appearance, and after some time the two met, and for some long period of time he made his residence, as you see at that structure over on the left side. It looks like a little temple, and that's where he sat underneath a tree. The tree now has a nice name, Sringara Vat, or Nityananda Vat. And he stayed there and he chanted and engaged in Brahminical activities given to him by Lakshmipati Tirtha until that wonderful time came. He was just waiting and waiting and waiting in Vrindavan. And when the time came, he came to where Lord Chaitanya was. He waited for Lord Chaitanya to assume the activities of a Vaishnava, because when Lord Chaitanya was younger, he didn't exhibit the pastimes of a Vaishnava as much as he exhibited the pastimes of a learned scholar Brahmin. Nimai Pandit was his name. But after some time, Nimai Pandit also became initiated by his spiritual master, Ishvara Puri. And when that event happened, and Lord Chaitanya exploded in a mood of devotional ecstasy, very quickly he began Sankirtan. And that Sankirtan pastime took place right in Navadvip at the house of his devotee, Srivas Pandit, another learned Brahmana, an elder to Lord Chaitanya. And one day, Lord Nityananda came, and immediately the kirtan stopped, and Lord Chaitanya wanted to know who has come, who has come. Of course, he's omniscient, so he knew who had come. And everyone was astonished to see these two brothers embracing one another and enjoying each other's company, and so happy because they're eternal associates meeting for the first time in the course of Sankirtan. And so the two lords, Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, they engaged together in chanting and dancing in the house of Srivas. And then the time came when Lord Chaitanya had some request to make of Lord Nityananda. The request that he made of Lord Nityananda was, the time has come that people in general should hear the holy name, not just the brahmanas in a small quarter of the house of Srivas Pandit, but in all directions people should hear the holy name. So he made this personal request of Nityananda and Haridas to go in pair, the two of them, go around the whole of Navadvip and encourage people, friendly, unfriendly, Brahmana or any background, anything at all, and encourage them to chant the holy name. So each day, the two, some of you may not know who was Haridas. So a little background. Where Haridas became the acharya, or the leading example, given this title on his forehead by Lord Chaitanya, the acharya for chanting the holy name. So sometimes you'll hear when we have kirtan at the end, Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Namacharya Haridas Thakur and Lord Nityananda were the right hand and left hand of Lord Chaitanya, requesting them to go here and there and everywhere and encourage people to chant. When they, at the end of the day, they came back and Lord Chaitanya would have them give a little report. How did it go today? And they understood Lord Chaitanya was very serious about not just chanting himself and engaging a small handful of persons to chant themselves, but that everyone, everywhere, should be given the opportunity at least to hear the holy name and become purified. With many, many teachings from Scripture about just by hearing the holy name even once, the potency is there that one can become a liberated soul just by hearing. So he wanted to free people from material bondage. So enthusiastically. Now, Lord Nityananda was a little bit of an avaduta, means he didn't follow social conventions so much. He would sometimes jump into the Ganges and slap a crocodile and tell the crocodile to chant Hare Krishna. Or he was a little wild. And Haridas eventually said, look, I don't think I can travel with you anymore. You're too unconventional for me. Lord Nityananda then came to know that in Navadvip there were two brothers named Jaghai and Madhai, celebrated pastime with Lord Nityananda. And I'm going to make this little presentation hopefully a little short so that we'll keep our schedule. Because this is just an introduction. This isn't his appearance day. This is a warm-up. So Lord Nityananda began to consider if these two wild men, they were born in Brahmin families, Jaghai and Madhai, but they became quite fallen, completely fallen. They became drunkards, women hunters, wild thieves, drunken, brawling through the streets, kind of wild men. And if they can become devotees, then the glory of the holy name and the glory of Lord Chaitanya will become known everywhere. And so he decided to go for it. So he approached these two drunken men and petitioned them, chant the holy name, chant the holy name. And the two drunken fellows didn't want to hear that. So one of the two drunken fellows picked up a clay pot and hurled the clay pot and hit him right in the head. And of course his body is all spiritual, and therefore that means nothing. But because of Leela, it was as if his head was cut and started to bleed. And Lord Nityananda made nothing of it and said, that's okay, please chant the holy name. And they were stunned by his response because they thought he would run away scared like everybody else does, because they were wild men, drunken wild men. Word came to Lord Chaitanya. Lord Nityananda has been hit in the head with a clay pot. So the painting is showing Lord Nityananda is coming with his Sudarshan chakra. Sudarshan chakra. You know, the disc chakra of Lord Vishnu. He raised his finger, the chakra started spinning, and he was ready to release the chakra and chop off the heads of these two offenders. They saw the chakra and they fell at Lord Chaitanya's feet. Please forgive us, we had no idea of the exalted nature of your associate here, Lord Nityananda, please forgive us. And Lord Chaitanya said, you fall at his feet and beg his forgiveness. And immediately Lord Nityananda gave his forgiveness. And the two brothers, it's a very nice story. Here's Lord Chaitanya with his Sudarshan chakra raised in the air. Now I know why you have the class downstairs. I was told this happens. And it's happening. And what can you do? Because children are children and parents are parents. And we'll pretend it's not there. Okay. Well, it's a nice story anyways. There he is, with his finger raised, the Shuddhasan chakra whirling. Lord Nityananda is protesting, no, don't kill them. The two drunken men lying on the ground. And Lord Chaitanya forgave them because they fell at Lord Nityananda's feet, and they were then given some service to atone for their wrongdoing of offending Lord Nityananda. You know what that service was? The service was many devotees, pilgrims, and many, many people come to the Ganges to take bath in the Ganges. So you build a little ghat, little set of steps that go down into the Ganges, so pilgrims can come and take bath, sacred bath in the Ganges. So they did that. But they not only did that, but they stood on either side like gatekeepers, like Jai and Vijay, gatekeepers, because that's where they were before that, and offered with folded palms, please forgive us for all of our sinful activities. And they had become so humble and purified by hearing the holy name from Lord Nityananda and the appeal of Lord Nityananda to take shelter of the holy name, that they became advanced souls. Now, after some time, the Sankirtan movement of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu grew and grew and grew. And in course of time, Lord Chaitanya decided, there's a series of events, but Lord Nityananda is involved in this event. And that event was that Lord Chaitanya decided to take sannyas. Rather than the whole story, because of time, I won't go through the whole, there's many, many events that led up to this. And so he went to Katwa to take sannyas. And in the presence of a few associates, Lord Nityananda was there. This is a painting of Lord Chaitanya accepting sannyas from his sannyas guru, Keshava Bharati. And in the assembly are many, many persons who were participating in the event, and it was included there was Lord Nityananda. And then a very nice, well-known event in the course of their life was Lord Chaitanya was requested by his mother after taking sannyas, don't go to Vrindavan because I may never hear of you again. Instead, please go to Puri. I know you want to be with Krishna, but Krishna's in Puri also. So please go to Puri. Because from Bengal, many devotees go to Puri to attend Rath Yatra and come back, and at least that way I can get news of you. So he went to Puri. And on the way to Puri, Lord Nityananda was carrying his danda, and you see Lord Nityananda broke his danda because he had this disposition. Lord Chaitanya, as Krishna himself, what's he doing carrying a stick as the symbol of renunciation? So they had a conversation with the danda. How bold are you? You're being carried in the hand of my master, who's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You have no place. And he broke the danda in 3 places and threw it in the river on their way to Puri. it's part of a nice event, but there's a kind of intimacy in their love for one another that Lord Nityananda wanted to see Lord Chaitanya as Krishna, or the Supreme Person. And he was the servant of the Supreme Person. Although he was elder in years, in the Vedic culture, the elder is given respect. His mood was always to respect Lord Chaitanya as the Supreme and who he liked to serve. There's a very nice, I'm almost done, there's a very nice song about Lord Nityananda, written by one of the successive acharyas named Narottam Das Thakur, called Nitai Pada Kamala. It's the name of the song. Nitai Pada Kamala Chandra Shushitala. Koti Chandra Shushitala. Here's the translation. The lotus feet of Lord Nityananda are the shelter where one can get the soothing moonlight, not only of one, but of millions of moons. If the world wants to have real peace, it should take shelter of Lord Nityananda. Unless one takes shelter under the shade of lotus feet of Nityananda, it will be very difficult for him to approach Radha Krishna. If one actually wants to enter into the dancing party of Radha Krishna, he must firmly catch hold of the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. So I'm going to end with just giving 3 examples. This is several generations after Lord Chaitanya. Narottam Das Thakur, great poet, but he refers to this situation here where you see Lord Nityananda seated and someone's falling at his feet. Now, yesterday was, we had a discussion on the appearance day of Raghunath Das Goswami, because his appearance day is today, February 2nd, by lunar calendar. Here he is, falling at the feet of Lord Nityananda, begging him for his blessing that he can get Lord Chaitanya's association. And Lord Nityananda is very funny. He put his foot on his head and said, all right, but you've got to do some service for Lord Chaitanya. You have to feed everybody here. This is your punishment for your staying at a distance from me. So anyway, if one actually wants to enter the dancing party of Radha Krishna, then firmly grasp the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda. So that's what he But he was very funny. It's a similar situation. One devotee wanted his mercy, and Lord Chaitanya kicked him in the chest. And the wife of the devotee got kicked in the chest, was really upset at Lord Chaitanya, and he was upset at his wife and said, don't you understand? He's giving his lotus feet. And without the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda, one cannot enter into the pastimes of Radha Krishna. He's giving his mercy. Don't you understand? But he did it in a funny way. And another example is, this is a painting of Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami, who is pictured in the lower left corner. And Lord Nityananda gave him blessings, take shelter of Lord Chaitanya. And you can get the mercy of the personality of Godhead by the mercy of Lord Nityananda. And similarly, this is our last image. He did the same thing with Jiva Goswami. Now, these are newer names for many of you, but in our disciplic succession, Jiva Goswami is a luminary. Without details because of time. He wrote volumes and volumes and volumes and volumes of highly elevated spiritual teachings. And to get the association of Lord Nityananda, Lord Chaitanya, in the painting that shows the background, Lord Nityananda came to meet him and gave him a guided tour of the birthplace of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and told him about this Adbhuta Mandir that would one day rise in Navadvip, and that's the Temple of Vedic Planetarium. But this was predicted long ago by Lord Nityananda and other great souls. So this is a little introduction. In 2 weeks' time, you'll all be participating, hopefully, here at the temple, big festival, the appearance day of Lord Nityananda. This is just a little introduction to this wonderful personality. On almost all altars in ISKCON, just like here, there's on the far left, there's deities of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda. And just like Balaram, as maybe you have seen the deities of Krishna, Balaram, and Vrindavan. Krishna is on this side, our right side, or Lord Nityananda's left side, and Balaram is leaning on his shoulder, like this. So, there's the two lords, Lord Chaitanya, Lord Nityananda, the personalities giving the Dharma for this age of Kali, particularly the chanting of the holy name, and they have empowered others to make this available to one and all in every town and village in the world. And by their mercy, it's happening slowly in every town and village in the world. There's not a temple in every town and village of the world, but there are places where people are chanting the holy name. And devotees have been empowered to spread the chanting of the holy name in a very wonderful way. So I'm going to end, because it's time to end. And I won't be with you in 2 weeks, but I certainly hope you come and bring hundreds and hundreds of your friends for a nice festival in honor of Lord Nityananda's appearance. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So it's time to end, right? Well, I'm not the timekeeper. If there's some questions or points that you'd like to have some discussion about, I see a hand. Simple question. Good. Okay.
I just would like to know, is Nityananda is Shiva himself as well?
Is what?
Shiva?
What about Lord Shiva?
Is his name Nityananda as well?
Is he what?
Is he Nityananda as well?
As much as Lord Shiva is an expansion of the source of everything, they're connected because they're both from the source of everything. But the category of that expansion is very different. For example, here's a for example. I don't know if you understand these things. Living entities, we're living entities. We're Jiva Tattva. Jiva Tattva, living entities. Radharani is in the category of Shakti Tattva. She's in another category. Lord Nityananda is in the category of Vishnu Tattva. So now we have 3 Tattvas. And Lord Shiva has his own Tattva. So Lord Shiva is not the living entity. He's not the Supreme. He's not Radharani. He's in his own Tattva. But they're all from the same source. In that sense, there's a connection. They're from the same source. But they're not the same Tattva. Tattva means truth or substantial reality. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, wanted to see what pleases Lord Nityananda. How can we please Lord Nityananda?
My hearing is bad. What do you say? How can we please? You do what he does. You assist him to do what he does. And what did he do? He was given the service, the assignment of engage everyone in chanting the holy name and hearing the message of Krishna. So you can serve him best that way. Okay, we're going to end. Thank you all very much for participating. Hare Krishna. Time for prasadam, I guess.